Hello and welcome to the latest in our Sustainability Perspectives series of videos. I'm Tim Sykes and I'm delighted to be joined today by Mariya Nedelcheva, who is Marketing Manager for Film Solutions at Avery Dennison Label and Packaging Materials. Welcome, Mariya.
Thank you, Tim.
So Avery Dennison is renowned as a specialist in labeling materials, and today we're going to be talking about the relationship between labels and the recyclability of packaging substrates that they're attached to. So Mariya, if we speak about rigid packaging in particular, what do you see as the key recyclability challenges associated with labels?
I think the main challenge is that labels are mostly viewed as a hurdle, whereas they can be quite compatible with recycling, or in some cases, they can even be the enabler of recycling by making sure that the package is sorted properly, or by actually making sure that they detach from the package. Then on top of that, of course, there is the collection as the first step, making sure that the packages are being collected. And again, as I said, the sorting. So again, there the label can play quite a role in making sure that the package is sorted properly. And there are always some regional variances in the requirements there. So that can also be a challenge for the brands, but also for the printers, providing the labels to make sure that they have a pan-European or even a global solution in some cases. So in terms of the global consumer awareness, I would say that people are more and more aware about the packaging, but don't always realize that the label can also play a role in recyclability. And there is also the aspect of consumer awareness, but also consumer willingness. So one of the challenges specifically in Europe is that in some other regions, of course, they have guidelines to remove the label, like in Japan, where they have very high collection rate and very high recycling rate as well. But there they have very disciplined consumers who are removing the labels. In Europe, we know that unless this really becomes a regulation, we can't really expect consumers to be so disciplined to remove the labels. So there are some regional specifics and differences that we always need to consider when supplying materials. And then last but not least, I think the challenge in the coming years will be that there will be more and more packages required to answer the guidelines for design for recycling. So there will be more and more requirements towards the package materials, but also in that sense, also towards the labels. And that comes in combination with some expectations from brands, of course, that are very wary about their cost, especially at this time, that any sustainable solution should not come at a significant cost in versus their current packaging. So this is also a challenge for the label suppliers.
Thank you. And you've mentioned the regulatory context. Obviously, that's a constantly evolving and shifting landscape of regulation and law, and with it the expectations and guidelines for recycling. How is this situation affected by this always changing context?
Change can be good as well because the recycling system is evolving, as we all see. But I think one of the main ways that it can impact is when there are certain guidelines that are actually turned into regulations. So for example, in Europe today, for the rigid packaging, there are some guidelines for PET, and there the recycling stream is fairly established. There are a few countries with some more stringent requirements, but mostly in all of Europe, the recycling stream is fairly established and the requirements are well known. So we can develop and we know what we need to develop for those requirements. Then again, for HDPE, the recycling stream is not yet so advanced. The washing there is happening at lower temperatures, for example. So it's more difficult for the label materials to both answer the need of the user. So the label has to stay on the package under the shower, for example, and then also to be compatible with the recycling stream. And so I think the main evolution in the regulation will happen now with the Green Deal. There will be more and more of these guidelines that are actually taken into legislation. And the example is that in some countries now, there has been what we call eco-modulation started to come into force. So if your package is designed according to the design for recycling adopted by that specific country, then you can get a deduction on your waste management tax or the so-known extended producer responsibility. And then if it's not complying with the design for recycling guidelines, then you get the higher fee. So this is just one example how the regulation can really have an impact also on the cost and the available solutions. There is more and more demand for recycled plastics as well, right? And we see that for now there is an enormous demand towards recycled PET, and we see some transition maybe from HDPE to PET due to its availability. But if there is, for example, a regulation soon, which is being pushed by the beverage producers, that the rPET should be only used for food-approved applications, then I think also the other segment will be pushed to answer with more recyclable options and ensuring also that their packages are also being recycled. So this can also be a way that it would have a dramatic impact on how the rPET resin is being distributed.
Thanks very much, Mariya. So turning to Avery Dennison's part in this sustainability challenge, the Clean Flake portfolio is something that's been around for a few years now. Can you tell me a little bit about the background and the conception of this as a portfolio?
At the time, there was not yet discussion about eco-design or design for recycling. Clean Flake has been on the market since 2014. And originally, it was designed as a product only focused on PET bottles and specifically even on beverage bottles. And since then, we've been improving and expanding the portfolio, building more and more functionality in it. So today, it's a product which is used in different segments, not just in beverage. And it is enabling the recyclability of PET packages. However, we keep hearing from our customers and brands that we talk to that in order to build more credibility of the brand, but also to enable more packages to transition, there was the request from the market to really build the Clean Flake technology into our standard portfolio. So in order to really create scale and support the advancement of recycling of rigid plastics, we recognize this need to have a standard solution, not just a niche solution focused on one specific segment, but really to have a solution which is covering all the FMCG segments. So in that way, we recognize the need basically to remove the performance and cost barriers and really make it an easy choice for brands to do the right thing and select the label which is enabling recyclability.
Thank you. And well, last month in August, we had the big announcement from Avery Dennison. Can you tell us a bit about the launch of the next generation of Clean Flake?
Yeah, so as I said, we saw the need to expand to more segments and to more substrates. So the new generation of Clean Flake, it will be the first of its kind and is actually the first of its kind label material to enable rigid plastic recycling across the filmic label offering. So it's really providing both converters and brands a solution that supports the recycling process without compromising on their performance or having to really make these huge steps to a niche product in order to support their sustainability goals. And we are launching this portfolio already as a substitute to our standard filmic offering. So our standard filmic adhesive going forward will be the Clean Flake adhesive.
Okay, thank you. And can you tell us how that works in principle? So, for example, with the different plastic packaging substrates that are used.
Yeah, so as I said, for PET, we already have a lot of experience. So the Clean Flake, the new Clean Flake solutions will keep working the same way like the well-known Clean Flake solutions until now. The product has been recognized by EPBP. It's also following the PETCOR guidelines for the plastic trays recycling. And it's approved also by APR in the US for the US product. For HDPE, today in Europe, most of the recycling happens for the colored recycling stream. So that recycling happens at very low temperatures. And there it's not possible yet to develop a product which is both answering the needs of the brands and washing off. However, what we have developed is this product which is fulfilling the requirements for the monomaterial stream, what we call. So this is for the colored HDPE recycling, and their clean flake would work standard, same as a standard label, so it would still stay on the package for the whole journey and life cycle of the package. And then when the package is arriving at the recycler, the label will actually stay with the PE package, following the monomaterial principle, as Clean Flake is using a polyolefin label in most cases. So those materials can be considered as a monomaterial. And for this, we had to do some additional work, as you know already before, with Recyclability, in order to show with actual testing that our emulsion adhesives can be compatible with the HDPE recycling stream.
Mm-hmm. Yes, so sustainability is always a work in progress, isn't it? Do you have any final comments about what you envisage as the future and the next steps in the Clean Flake journey?
Well, I would add that sustainability is also the fruit of collaborative work, and I only envision that this will be our standard product going forward for film, but we will keep working with the ecosystem, for example, with Recyclability and the recyclers, to track the new developments, and we will keep target to improve, of course. So if there is some more development into the HDPE guidelines, we will keep staying close to those to make sure that if the recycling stream comes to the same level as the PET recycling stream, that we will have a solution that can bring even further recyclability.
Fantastic. Well, we look forward to following that story. Mariya, where can members of the audience turn to if they want to find out more about Avery Dennison's sustainability projects and Clean Flake in particular?
We will be on the Sustainable Packaging Summit, of course, so we will be available there for questions as well. And also there is more information on our website, averyDennison.com.
Thank you very much. And thanks for the plug for the Sustainable Packaging Summit in Lisbon, indeed. Welcome to everyone who can make it to that event. Mariya Nedelcheva, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you as well.